Hi, Dr. Kling. This is my presentation on rational choice theory. My name is Alyssa Jacobson, and today's date is February 20th, 2025. All right, so we're going to be talking about what rational choice theory is, policies during the 20th century, contemporary applications of rational choice theory, criticisms and limitations of rational choice theory, policy recommendations and future directions, rehabilitation and restorative justice, and a summary. Alright, so rational choice theory views individuals as rational agents who make deliberate judgments by assessing the prospective costs and advantages prior to committing unlawful acts. The decision to violate the law is made only after the potential offender carefully weighs the potential benefits and consequences of the planned action and decides that the benefits of crime are greater than its costs. Rational choice theory is founded on the principles of rational decision-making, deterrence, and opportunity mitigation. Rational decision-making presumes that an offender will possess the ability to assess prospective advantages and disadvantages of an act prior to conducting a criminal act. The criminal individual will make their tactical decisions to optimize their personal individual benefit. The deterrence principle argues that when the costs associated with crime, such as apprehension and punishment or penalty, are substantial in comparison to the rewards, reasonable or rational individuals are less inclined to engage in criminal activity. This principle has led to policies designed to enhance the harshness and certainty of punishment. Rational choice theory emphasizes the opportunity for opportunity mitigation of crime by emphasizing the ability to diminish the possibility of crime by modifying environmental factors, and these factors may entail enhancing surveillance of high-risk areas, fortifying likely targets, or developing community-oriented solutions. All right, next. Rational choice theory's influence is particularly evident in the development of U.S. criminal justice policies during the late 20th century, when a tougher on crime stance became prominent in response to rising crime rates. Several policies inspired by rational choice theory include the three strikes laws, mandatory minimum sentencing, and the war on drugs. So the three strikes laws were designed to incapacitate habitual offenders by imposing severe sentences, often life imprisonment, on individuals convicted of three or more serious crimes. The underlying rationale was simple. If the costs of committing a crime are high enough, in this case a potential life sentence, then even repeat offenders would be deterred from engaging in further criminal activity. The three strikes was also regarded to get the worst of the worst off the streets, thereby keeping the remainder of the citizens safe. And the dual deterrence factors, however, were not necessarily enough to deter criminals from participating in their desired criminal behaviors. Mandatory minimum sentencing was predicated on the notion that stringent and inflexible punishments would increase the cost of criminal activity to a degree that would dissuade prospective offenders. Advocates of these measures contended that the assurance of punishment, as opposed to judicial discretion, would function as a potent deterrent. And the war on drugs is arguably the most prominent illustration of a policy significantly shaped by rational choice theory. The war on drugs sought to diminish drug use and trafficking by rigorous law enforcement strategies and severe sentencing protocols. The concept was that by substantially elevating the personal expenses linked to drug offenses, such as elevated rates of arrest, prosecution, and incarceration, potential offenders would be dissuaded from participating in drug-related activities. All right, next. In recent years, the tenets of rational choice theory persisted in shaping the formulation of criminal justice policies, but within more technology-sophisticated and data-centric frameworks. Three prominent examples of these efforts are broken windows policing, stop and frisk initiatives, and predicate policing with data-driven crime mitigation. So, broken windows policing, the theory, although not exclusively derived from rational choice theory, strongly corresponds with its foundational principles. This theory advances the concept that observable indicators of disorder, such as vandalism or petty infractions, signify a deficiency in community oversight, thereby inciting more severe criminal activities. By swiftly resolving these minor issues, law enforcement might theoretically avert the escalation of criminal behavior. Ignored broken windows can thus lead to further community decay and increased crime. Stop and frisk initiatives, especially those executed in urban areas like New York, exemplify a modern utilization of rational choice theory in policy formation. The fundamental concept of these programs is that heightened police presence and proactive interventions might discourage criminal behavior by fostering the belief that crime will incur prompt and definitive consequences. Advocates of stop and frisk contended that these measures would result in a decrease in street-level crimes. All right, predictive policing. Technological advances have resulted in the development of predictive policing, a novel method that uses statistical algorithms and data analytics to anticipate potential crime locations. This approach is based on the tenets of rational choice theory, aiming to modify criminal behavior by changing the perceived risk associated with crime. By carefully distributing law enforcement resources to high-risk regions, agencies seek to enhance the likelihood of apprehension, thereby discouraging criminal behavior. All right, criticisms and limitations. A primary criticism is the presumption that all people are entirely rational decision makers. Numerous criminal offenses are perpetrated in conditions of emotional turmoil, addiction, or impulsiveness, and scenarios in which a deliberate cost-benefit assessment may not occur. A noble constraint is the unequal effect of rational choice theory-based interventions on underprivileged populations. Numerous deterrence methods, including three strikes laws, stop and frisk programs, have been demonstrated to disproportionately affect ethnic minorities and economically disadvantaged groups. This result not only questions the ethical foundation of such practices, but also diminishes public trust in the equity of the criminal justice system. All right, so integrating rational choice with alternative theories. Let's see. So due to the constraints of exclusively depending on rational choice theory, a more sophisticated approach to criminal justice policy is evidently required. Policymakers are increasingly acknowledging the significance of using diverse criminological viewpoints to formulate measures that tackle both deterrence and the root cause of criminal behavior. So a viable avenue for future policy is to integrate the lessons of randomized controlled trials with those of social learning theory and strain theory. Social learning theory suggests that conduct is acquired through social interactions with others. Because of this, conduct can be shaped by peer networks and community standards. Incorporating this perspective enables policies to more effectively address the social context that cultivates criminal conduct. Strain theory emphasizes the influence of economic and social constraints in propelling individuals toward criminal behavior, indicating that initiatives aimed at reducing poverty and enhancing social services should augment deterrent methods. An integrated approach would thereby yield a more comprehensive understanding of criminal behavior and facilitate more effective treatments. Rehabilitation and restorative. An essential guideline is to prioritize rehabilitation over exclusive reliance on punitive measures. Studies indicate that rehabilitative programs, including vocational training, educational opportunities, and mental health care, can markedly decrease recidivism rates. Incorporating restorative justice approaches, which emphasize remedying the damage inflicted by criminal actions and reintegrating criminals into society, may mitigate the shortcomings of an exclusively deterrence-based strategy. Investing in these programs facilitates offender rehabilitation and enhances long-term community stability and safety. So in summary, rational choice theory has left a profound imprint on U.S. criminal justice policy, informing a range of initiatives from mandatory minimum sentencing to modern predictive policing. Its appeal lies in the clarity of its deterrence logic. By raising the perceived cost of crime, it aims to discourage criminal behavior. However, the application of rational choice theory in policymaking is accompanied by significant challenges. The theory's assumption of perfect rationality oversimplifies the complex social, economic, and psychological dimensions of criminal behavior. Moreover, policies based on rational choice theory have often contributed to systemic inequalities, particularly affecting marginalized communities. A more effective criminal justice policy must therefore integrate the insights of rational choice theory with those alternative criminological theories that account for social context and individual variability. By emphasizing rehabilitation, restorative justice, and evidence-based practices, policymakers can create a system that not only deters crime but also addresses its root causes. As our understanding of criminal behavior continues to evolve, so must our strategies for ensuring justice and community well-being. All right, thank you for listening.